everyone, I'm Alicia. For this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make these really pretty flower anklets or bracelets, whatever you want to make. And before I show you guys how to do this, I'm going to answer a question that I'm always getting asked, and that is, how do I come up with my own designs? Well, with this one, my first idea was to make an all seed bead bracelet using the same size seed beads, and I wanted to weave this bracelet in a way that kind of looks like lace. And this is what I ended up with. This was my first idea. And I got what I was wanting. I got an all seed bead bracelet, the same size seed beads, and I weaved it in a way that has a lace look to it. And I really love this. It's so pretty, and I made it continuous, so it's like a bangle. There's no clasp in it, which is really cool. And I really like this. I'm very happy with it. But after I made it, my mind got to wondering, and I was thinking, could I change the color pattern in this and end up with different looking bracelets just by changing the color patterns? So I was studying my own design, and I noticed that around this white ring here kind of looks like a flower to me. So see this white ring here in the center? Then there's 6 rings around it. It kind of looks like a flower. So then I was wondering, well, I have a flower here. How could I connect another flower to it? So then when I looked over here, it kind of looks like a whole flower with half a flower connected to it. So that didn't look right. So then I realized, well, what if I put green, somehow I put green in between the flowers to break up the pattern. So here's a whole flower here. I turned what is white right now into green, and then have another flower over here, and that is where I ended up with my flower pattern. So if you look back at this, there's a flower, there's a break in the middle, and then the flower. And that's how I came up with this flower design from another design that I made. So this happens to me a lot. I will think of an idea, it will either work, and I can get multiple designs out of that one, or it won't work and it'll turn into something completely different, which has happened so many times. So I'm going to show you guys how to make these bracelets or anklets, and you can use different size beads to make these. This is done with 11/0 Tohos. This is done with some junky seed beads that I had, and this is check. These are some junky seed beads. This is a mixture of Toho and check beads together. Because of how this is weaved, you can kind of use different brands together. You just want to make sure that they look similar in size, because sometimes different brands will look bigger in one brand than it does in another brand. This one here is Vintage Venetian, and this is 8/0 seed beads. So 8/0s, 6/0s, 10/0s, and 11/0s. So you can really play around with the sizes. Now, if you're going to use 11/0 seed beads, they're very small, and you'll have to use a smaller monofilament. 8-pound would probably be best, because you will struggle getting back through to tie your knots. And I recommend that you have a pair of tweezers so you can push the monofilament through the seed beads if you get stuck like that. Here is the list of materials you will need to make a bracelet or an anklet. To make a bracelet, you will need 7 feet of either 8-pound or 10-pound monofilament. To make an anklet, you will need 8 feet of either 8-pound or 10-pound monofilament. Now, I recommend to use monofilament, which is fishing line, for this design, because I tried using a beading thread for this weave and it looked terrible. The flowers looked crushed, they looked smashed, they did not look like flowers. Because the monofilament is stiffer, it makes the flowers open up, and you get really great results with the monofilament. So please don't try to thread, because you're not going to be happy. Use the monofilament. You're also going to need seed beads, and you can use different sizes. I've done 8/0s, 6/0s, 10/0s, and 11/0s. You're also going to need a clasp, and if you want, you can use a lobster claw clasp like I did here, or you could do a button. This is a check flower button that I used in this one, and this one here is a leaf button. You're also going to need jump rings or split rings to attach your clasp, like I did here. And if you're using 11/0 seed beads with an 8-pound monofilament, you're probably going to want to use tweezers when you go to tie your knots, because When you have to pass back through the seed beads, sometimes you might have a hard time, and the tweezers just make it so much easier, and it helps you push the monofilament through the seed beads. So this is everything you're going to need, and remember, I always put the material list down there in the description bar so you can see everything you need, along with other tips and stuff, so make sure you check that out. So after you cut the monofilament off of your spool, you may notice that it's keeping this round, springy shape. And it's kind of frustrating to work with. So what I do to straighten this out is I run the monofilament between my fingers really fast, and what it does is it heatens up the monofilament, almost like a straightening iron on hair, and it straightens out the monofilament, and it makes it a lot easier to work with. The next thing I do is I take a permanent markers, and I color one end red and the other black. This makes it a lot easier to understand what I'm doing, and also if you do the same thing, it makes it a lot easier to follow it along. The next thing I'm going to do is to add my little ring here on the end of my anklet. So I'm going to start by making this green loop here at the end. So I'm going to pick up 4 green seed beads. And if you're using a split ring, you're going to want to pick this up now because it will be too hard to put the split ring on later because you might crack your seed bead. Okay, so I'm going to slide this down, and now I'm going to pick up my first flower color, which is red. I'm going to have a red flower, orange flower, yellow flower, and the center of my flower is actually going to be bronze, and then I have the green for my leaves. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my flower colors. I'm going to slide one of them down, and I'm going to crisscross through one of these beads. I'm going to put my ends together, make sure they are even, and bring this seed bead down to the very center of my string, so I now have this. Okay? So right here between these 2 red beads, that's where the center of my flower is going to go. So now what I'm going to do is pick up some more beads, and what I need to explain to you is that if you study the pattern of this, if you look at it, you can see that there are circles connecting to each other, and there's circles of 6 seed beads, and the circles are sharing each other's seed beads. So right now I have 6 seed beads, and I'm crossing out of 1 here. So I have to pick up 5 more seed beads. So with my outer string here, I am going to pick up, because I already have 5 more seed beads. I'm going to pick up 3 red, this gives me 4, 1 bronze, that gives me 5, and 1 red. Now I have a total of 6, and I'm going to cross through the red one that I just put on and bring this down. Okay, so now I have what looks like this. So now you could see I have this string right here, and it's kind of pointing in that direction. So that's telling me that I have to pass this string through that red bead. Okay, so this string is black, and I'm just going to pass it through this red bead and pull it through, and now I have this. Okay, so this string that's right in here next to the bronze seed bead, with this string, which is red, I'm going to pick up 1 bronze seed bead. Okay, and right now I have 2 seed beads in this circle, and I just picked up 1 bronze, so now I have 3 seed beads. I need a circle of 6. So that means that on this string I have to pick up 3 more seed beads, and they need to be red, the color of my flower. Now I'm not going to cross through this bronze one. I'm actually going to cross through this red one right here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down, and I'll show you a close-up of what I did. So again, I was passing out of these 2 red beads. I picked up a bronze bead, so it's next to that bronze bead there. Then I picked up 3 seed beads, and I crossed through the third seed bead that is next to the bronze one. Now I'm going to flip this over like this, and I'm going to find the ends of my strings, And what I'm going to do is make another ring of 6 seed beads. Now I'm currently exiting out of 1, so that means I need 5 more seed beads. So with this string right here, I'm going to pick up 4 red. Okay, so now I have a total of 5 red, counting this one. Then I'm going to pick up a bronze, and I'm going to crisscross through the bronze seed bead. Okay, bringing this down, I'm going to pull it, and now I have what looks like this. Now I'm going to take this string here that's on the inside, and the color of mine is red, and it's already fading. The red always fades faster. I'm going to take this one here that's on the inside, and I'm going to pass through these 2 bronze seed beads, just them. Okay, so it looks like this. I'll pull this tight so you could see it looks just like that. Okay, now I'm going to close the center of my flower up. So with this outer string right here, I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, 3 bronze, and I'm going to crisscross through the 3rd one and bring this down. And now I have this. Now I'm going to take this string right here and pass through this seed bead and pull it out, and now I have this. Okay, so because I'm right-handed and I like to pick up the beads with my right hand, I'm going to take this string that's right here and pick up my beads. Now I already have 2 seed beads in this circle, so that means I need 4. So I'm going to pick up 4 red seed beads, and I'm going to crisscross through the 4th one, just like that. Bring this down. And now I have this. This string that's right here, I'm going to pass through that 1 bronze seed bead. It's my black string. Just like that. Pull it through. Now I have to finish the red out on this flower. So this string that's right here, I'm going to pick up 4 beads because I'm already passing through these 2, so that tells me I need 4, because I always need 6 in a circle. So picking up 4 red beads, I'm going to crisscross my strings through the 4th one and bring this down. Pull it tight. Now I have this. Now I'm going to take this string that's on the inside of my flower, and I'm going to pass it through, it's exiting out this bead right here. I'm going to pass it through this bronze bead and also through the red bead that's next to it. Just like that. Pull it through. Pull both strings tight, and there's part of our flower. Okay, so now I have to close the flower up. I'm going to take my strings, and I right now have 3 seed beads in my circle. 1, 2, 3. So I need a total of 6. So I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, 1 on each string, slide those 2 down. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 1 and crisscross through it and bring that down. And now I just completed my first flower. So now that I have 1 flower completed, the next thing to do is to add my green seed beads in so I could separate myself from the next flower. So I'm going to take the string that's up here at the top, not the one that's down here in the center of my flower, but the one on the top. I'm going to take this one, and mine is black. Yours might be a different color if you started off differently than I did. Okay, so exiting out of this red bead right here, I'm going to pick up 3 green. And by the way, I'm only exiting out of 1 bead right now, so I need a total of 6. So this 3 green makes 4. Okay, now I need the color of my next flower, which is going to be orange, and that gives me 5 seed beads. Now I need 1 seed bead to cross through, and that's my green. So I'm going to crisscross through the green bead and bring it down. Pull it tight. Now I have this. Now I'm going to take this string that's right here on the inside, not the one here that's on the outside. I'm going to take the one on the inside, mine's black, and I'm going to pass through this red bead and through this one. Okay? Through this one and through this one. Just like that. Pull it through. I now have this. So I'm currently passing through 3 seed beads, and this means that I need to go through 3 more seed beads. So on this outer string right here, the one that's next to my orange bead, my next flower color, I'm going to pick up, and this string is red, 2 of my flower color beads, which is orange. And I'm going to slide those down. So again, picking this up, you can now see that I have 5 beads. I have 2 right here of my first flower, the green to separate, and then 2 orange of my next color. So a total of 5, and I need a total of 6. I'm going to pick up 1 green bead and crisscross through that and bring it down. Okay, now pull this tight, and this is what I have. Now what I'm going to do is take this string that's right here, pointing in the direction of my first flower, and I'm going to pass through this 1 seed bead. So find the end. I'm going to pass through this bead right here. So pull this string through. I now have this. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over now because I'm right-handed, and I like to pick up most of the beads with my right hand. I got stuck in my other bracelet. Okay. So I'm taking this string that's exiting out of my flower bead, my first flower bead, and I'm picking up 3 green seed beads. Now I'm already crossing through 2 right here, so picking up 3 gives me a total of 5. So I'm going to slide that down. Now I can see I have a total of 5 there, and I need 6. So I'm going to pick up 1 of my next flower bead, my next flower color bead, and it is orange. And I'm going to cross to that bead, and I'm bringing it down. And now I have this. So this string, when you pull this string is going in this direction. So that is telling me that I need to pass through this bead here. Okay? And I'm going to point something out to you guys, because this might help you. If you look at this. If you look at this bracelet, you may notice, like I said, you could see all the circles. But if you look at the beginning, there are 2 circles right here, okay? Then 3 circles. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Throughout the entire bracelet. It's like that. So I just completed 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. Now I have to do 2 circles here. So I'm going to have 2 orange circles. Okay, so right now I'm crisscrossing through these 2 seed beads, and that means that I need to pick up 4. So I'm going to take my bottom string, this one right here, and I'm going to pick up 4 beads. I'm going to pick up 2 orange, 1 bronze, and 1 orange, and I'm going to crisscross both of my strings through the orange and bring it down. And I now have this. Okay, so now this string that's up here, I'm going to pass through these beads. So find the end of that string. Mine's black. I'm right here. I'm going to take the string and I'm going to go through these 2. Okay, these two beads right here, and I'm making a circle right there. Pull that tight. Now you can see that. Okay, so right here I have a bronze bead, and my string is next to the bronze bead, and that means I need to pick up another bronze. And I'm currently passing through 3 seed beads, so I'm going to need a total of 6 here. So with this string that's next to the bronze seed bead, I'm going to pick up a bronze, and then with my other string I'm going to pick up an orange, and this gives me a total of 5 in this circle. And then I'm going to pick up my 6th bead and cross through it. So again, I have 1 bead on each string. I'm picking up 1 and I'm crossing through it. And I'm just getting stuck on everything around me. Okay, so bring that down. I'll pick it up and show you again. That's what I had. I picked up 2 beads, 1 bronze, 1 orange, and I picked up another one and I pulled it down, and I now have this. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to take this bottom string right here. I'm exiting out of 1 bead right now, so I need to pick up 5. So with my bottom string exiting out of this bead, I'm going to pick up 4 orange because I already have 1 orange. 4 orange, slide those down. Now I'm going to pick up 1 bronze, and I'm going to crisscross through it and bring it down. Now I have this. So now I'm fixing to close the center here of my flower. So I'm going to take this string right here that's on the inside, and mine is red, and I'm going to pass through these 2 bronze beads. Okay, through both of them. Pull this out and pull it tight, and I now have this. So I have 3 bronze here, and I need to have a total of 6. So with this string here that's coming out the side, I'm going to pick up 3 bronze seed beads and cross through the 3rd one. 3 and cross through the 3rd. Bring this down, and I have this. Okay, so when I pull this tight, you can see that this string is going in that direction, and this is automatically telling me that I have to go through that orange bead right there. So I'm going to take this string and pass through this orange bead. Okay, pull through, and I now have this. My strings are passing through 2 seed beads, and I need a total of 6. And I already have a bronze here, so this is telling me that I just need 4 more orange. So again, I'm going to flip this over, find both of my ends. On this one, I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads, and I will slide 3 of them down so you could see, and I'm going to cross through my 6th bead. Just like this, pull it, and I now have this. So again, pulling this tight, you can see where this string's going. This one's kind of going nowhere, so this is telling me that I have to go through that bronze bead. Okay, through there. Now I finished my center out, and that is telling me that I just need all orange beads now for the rest of my flower. So I'm crossing through 2 beads. That means I need 4 orange. So picking up 4 orange, I'm going to cross through the 4th one and bring this bead down. Pull it tight. I now have this. So again, you really want to pay attention to where your strings are going, because it kind of gets to the point where your strings are telling you what you have to do next. When I pull this tight, this string is going nowhere, so that means I don't really have to do anything with it. But this one's pointing in this direction, and that's telling me that I have to cross through this bronze and through that orange to complete my next circle. So, through the bronze and through this orange and pull it. Now pull both tight, and I have this. Okay, so now I have to finish my orange out, and every time I close a flower, I always pick up one of my flower color on each side. It happens the very last petal of each flower. Then I pick up one and I cross through it. So just like that, okay? That's one thing there to remember. Every time you close a flower, the last petal, you're going to pick it up like that. So now I have completed 2 flowers. Now I know this weave is kind of confusing, so I'm going to show you how to do the green again and another flower. Right now we are exiting out of this one orange seed bead right here. I'll pull it tight. Okay, and now what we have to do is add our green. So what I like to do is look back at what I've already done, and it's kind of like looking at a map and it's telling me what I gotta do next. So since I already have this completed flower, I can look back. I'm right here. Basically, if I look back, I'm right here on this flower. So I could see the next thing I have to do, it's like a map. I have to pick up 3 green beads, my next flower color, which is going to be yellow, and then a green bead and cross through it. Okay, so this is another trick that I like to do. I like to look back at what I've already done, and it kind of helps me. It's like looking at a map. So there's my 3 green, my next flower color, the yellow one, and then the green, and I'm going to cross through it. So now I have this. So you can now see how this part looks similar to here. So if you look back at what we've already done, you could see that the next thing we have to do is take this string and pass it through these beads here. So I have to do the same thing on this side. I have to go through these 2 orange beads and make it look the same as this part. Okay, pick this up and go through these 2 orange seed beads, pull it through, and sometimes you do want to stop and pull it really tight. You know, sometimes I do keep it a loose tension on it, but this fishing line is silky, and there's times where you want to pull it tighter than others, just to make sure that the whole piece is tight and not loose, because it's silky and it does kind of move around a lot. Okay. So like I said, right now I'm exiting out of these 3 beads of these 2 orange and green, and if I look back over here, I could tell what I have to do next is pick up my next flower color, which is right here, and then cross through a green. So I'm going to pick up 2 yellow here and pick up a green and cross through it there. Okay, 2 yellow, a green, I dropped it, and cross through it. Bring it down, and now I have this. So again, looking back, you could see I'm here, okay, same spot. Next thing I have to do is take this string and pass through this bead. So see what I mean? It's kind of like a map. You can look back at what you've already done and you could see what you gotta do next. Okay, I'm passing through this bead. Now I have 2 beads right here, and I need a total of 6. So again, if I look back, I can see the next thing I have to do, because I'm repeating these steps over and over, is pick up 3 green, and then my next flower color. So I have to pick up 4 beads. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to pick up my beads with this string here. I'm going to pick up 3 green and 1 yellow, and I'm going to cross through it and bring it down. And now I have this. So again, if you look back, you could see what we have to do next. We have to take this string and pass through this bead right here, okay? Because we want to repeat what we already done. I'm going to pass through this yellow bead, pull that through, and now I have these 2 beads that I'm holding on to. So again, if you get lost, just look back at what you've already done. So I have the side of the flower started. So I'm actually right here, okay, on the side. I'm exiting out of these two beads right here, so I could see that with this bottom string, I'm gonna have to pick up 2 yellow, a bronze, and then a yellow. That's a total of 4 beads. Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat the steps that I did already. 2 yellow, a bronze, that's 5, and a yellow, and cross through that. And pull it tight. Now I have this. I'm now going to take this string here that's on the inside and go through these 2 yellow beads. These beads here that I'm using are actually check, and I've kind of noticed because of how check beads are shaped, they really do seem to be the best bead, seed bead, for this weave because of how they have like that donut shape. Okay, so now I have this, and again, if you get confused, look back at what you've already done. So I'm right here, and if I look back, I'm actually here. Okay, so now what I have to do is pick up a bronze on this string. I have a total of 3 here, so I need 3 more. So I have a bronze on this string in the middle, a yellow on my other string, and then I'm going to pick up a yellow and crisscross through it so I can make this petal next. Okay, so again, I'm going to pick up a bronze. I'll slide that down. Okay, it's right there next to my other one. I'm going to pick up a yellow on my other. I'll slide that down too so you could see. And now I'm going to pick up another yellow and cross through it and bring that down. So now I have this. I'm going to flip this over, and with this string I'm going to pick up 5 beads because right now I'm exiting out of 1. I already have 1 yellow and I need a total of 5 yellow, so I'm gonna pick up 4. 4 yellow, slide those down. Now I have 5, and I need to pick up my bronze bead for my center of my flower and crisscross through that and bring that down. So now I have this. So the string here that's on the inside, I'm gonna go through these 2 bronze beads. Through this one and through this one. Pull this through, pull it tight, and we have this. Okay? So every time I close this flower up, I want to go in this direction. I don't want to close up going in that direction. I want to go up, not long ways with my bracelet. So with this string here, I'm going to pick up 3 bronze seed beads and cross through the 3rd. Pull this down, pass through this yellow bead, pull it tight, and I have this. Now, this is something I want to point out to you guys. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but looking closely at this, it looks like there is a knot being tied right here. Can you see that those strings are twisting? If you don't unravel this and you keep going, this is going to be not laying flat. It's going to be like twisted like that, and it's not going to look right. So what I do is I just loosen this up, okay, and I could see that this string here needs to be pulled out. Where did it go? Right there. Okay, I pulled that string out, and then I can pull this down, and now you can see that it's not twisted, so it's not tying a knot inside the bead. That's what was trying to go on, trying to happen. It was trying to tie a knot inside the bead. It was twisted inside. So I'm just going to continue on, and this should lay flat, and I should have a problem with that. But that's something that happens to me sometimes, and I'm sure it's happened to you, and you've probably wondered, why is your bracelet twisted? Not just with this weave, but other things I've made where I have to crisscross the strings. I notice that the strings will twist, and it will make the bracelet not lay flat. Okay, so now that I have this done, I have these 2 beads here, and you should already know by now that we need a total of 6. So I've already completed the center of my flower, so that means I only need yellow, and I'm going to pick up 4 yellow, and I'm going to cross through the 4th one. Bring it down, just like that. Okay. If you guys are needing seed beads, my favorite place to get Czech seed beads from, Preciosa Czech, is from Shipwreck Beads, because the more you buy, the more you save, and you can buy it in bulk. You can buy a lot of it. And they have sales a lot of the time, so if you watch them, you can see like 20-30% off on their beads. It's a great deal. Okay, I'm exiting out of here right now. And again, I'm going to continue going this way. So on this string, I'm going to pick up 4. And cross to the 4th. Just like that. I'll pull this tight. Okay, and now I have to take this string here on the inside, and I have to pass through these 2, this one, and through this one, like that. That's what it looks like close up. Okay, now remember I said earlier, every time you go to close a flower up, every time, the very last petal, you're going to pick up 3 seed beads, because there's already 3 here, and you're going to pick up 1 on each side, slide those down, and then you're going to pick up 1 and cross through it, bring it down, pull it tight, and there you go. You have a total of 6 seed beads right here in this ring. Okay, so now I have 3 flower colors completed. So since the video is getting so long already, I decided that I'm going to stop showing you how to do the flower, and I'm just going to do the green part again. So I showed how to do the flower 3 times, but I only showed how to do this green section 2 times. So I'm just going to do the green section 1 more time, and then I'm going to leave you to do it by yourself. And remember, if you're having a hard time, all you have to do is rewind the video, because we are just repeating these same steps over and over. Okay, so right now, I'm exiting out of this yellow bead, and like I said before, this is kind of like a map. Look back at what you've already done, and you can kind of see what you have to do next. So I'm exiting out here, so I'm going to look back here, because this is where I'm at in the other flower, and I can see that I have to pick up 3 green, my next flower color, and pick up another green and cross through it. So I'm going to use this string here on the bottom to pick up the seed beads. So I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I am using 8 seed beads. I'm picking up 3 green, my next flower color, which is red, and then I'm going to pick up a green, and I'm going to cross through it. Bring it down. Now I have this, and I'm just going to look back at what I've already done, and I can see right here what I have to do next. I have to take this string, pass through these 2 beads, okay, right here, and I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what to do next. Through this yellow and through this one. Okay, pull this out. Now I'm through these 3 here, so right here is where I'm at. So the next thing I have to do is pick up my next flower color. There's going to be 2 beads right here on this string, and then I'm going to pick up a green on this one and cross through that. Okay, so 2 red, that's my next color, 1 green, and cross through the green. Bring this down, pull it tight, and this is what I have. Again, looking back over here, you could see what you have to do next. I have to take this string, pass through the yellow, right there, pick up 3 green, Then I have to pick up my flower color and cross through that. So I'm going to pass through this bead here, this yellow one. Now I'm coming through 2 beads right now, and remember, we always need a circle of 6. That's the magic number for this bracelet. So on this string here, the bottom one that's coming out the yellow, I'm going to pick up 3 green, slide those down. This is a total of 5 beads. Now I'm going to pick up my 6 and cross through that. Bring it down. I now have this, and now I have to take this string here and pass through this red one. Right here, through this bead, just the one. Pull it through. And we now have this. So now you're just gonna basically repeat the same steps we've already done over here, and just going to keep going and going, repeating the same exact steps I just showed you to make the rest of the bracelet. So when you get to the end, I'll show you what to do next. So keep going making this, and remember, if you have a hard time, just rewind the video and try to find about where at you're stuck in the weave, and try to continue it. So to close this, I am not going to close this flower like I have been all this time. I'm going to close it a little bit differently because I have to add my clasp on. So I have this string that's right here in the middle of my flower, and I need this string to stay here. So this one here that's closer to the outer edge, I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads with this one, okay? And then I'm going to cross through the third. Now normally we would pick up 1 on each side and cross to the middle, but because we have to add our clasp on here, we're doing this one a little bit differently. So here you could see the 3 seed beads, and when I pull this, it looks like this. Now I'm going to take this string here and put it through this 1 yellow seed bead. Go through here, and now I have this. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is pick up 2 of my green for my end, my clasp with my jump ring on it, and the rest of my seed beads. And then I'm going to crisscross both of my strings through those beads and pull this down. And now I have what looks like this. Now I'm going to take the string on this side, and I'm going to pass through this seed bead and through this one. Okay, and actually I went through that one too, so that's fine. So I'm going through all 3 of these here, and I'm pulling that through. I'm going to pull this one snug, like that, okay? Now I'm going to take this string right here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through this seed bead, turn this so you can see, through the one beside it, right here in this circle, and then through the next one, if it lets me. And it's not let me, so I'll just pass through and then I'll do it again. Okay, so I'm going through right there. So when I pull both of these tight, you could see I have a circle of 6. Then I'm going to take the same string and I'm going to go through these 2 seed beads. Okay. Pull them tight, and now I'm ready to tie our half-hitch knots. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to tie the half-hitch knots, and my favorite place to tie the knots is between the flower and the green. So here, 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 here. The reason why is because of how the beads are. It's kind of tucked in and hidden, and you really don't see it. So I'm going to take my string, and I'm going to pass through this bead, the one next to it, as many as I can at one time, okay? So I went through this one, and this one. Okay. I'm just positioning my string so I could tie a knot. Now I'm going to take my string and I'm going to go through this one bead right here. Okay, that 111, or 80, excuse me. And now I'm here. Now this is where I like to tie my knots, right here. So I'm going to take my string and I'm going to go through this hole, make a loop. Now if you are doing 11-0 and 10-0 seed beads, you're only going to go through the loop one time because you need your knot to be very small and you need it to disappear into the seed beads. But since I'm using 8-0 seed beads, I'm going to go through this loop twice because they're nice and big holed and you can't see the knot. Okay, so I want my knot to sit right here. I'm going to hold this between my fingers and I'm going to pull this down and pull it tight, and there it is. Okay, now I do like to pull it in this direction, the opposite direction of the bead that I have to go through. So I'm going to pull this way because I have to pass through this bead. Okay, and pull that down. Now the knot just disappeared into this one. So the next thing I have to do is go through these two seed beads right here. I'll go through the yellow one first, then through this green. I'm just going like in a wave motion. I'm going up and down along the side of the bracelet. Okay, and now I'm in position to tie another knot right here. Same thing, through this hole, make a loop, and go through the loop twice. Okay, and pull it down. Then I'm going to go through this bead here, and actually I'm going through two, and that's fine because I have to go that way anyways. And I'm going to pull the knot in that hole and it disappeared. So you're going to want to do the same thing over here. You're going to want to pass through all of these beads that I just did on that side. Let's see if I could do all three like I did on the other side. Where's my tail? Okay, there's 1, 2. I think I'm going across, so I'll just go through one at a time. I'm going to go through this one. I'm going to go through this one here. I'm going to go into the center bead right here. Then I'm going to come through this bead here. And now I'm ready to tie knots on this side. So I have a string on this side that I'm tying knots with and the string on this side. And what I like to do is I try to use up most of my string and then I tie knots, and then I go and I reinforce with whatever I have left over, and then I trim it. So keep going, tying our half hitch knots, and like I said, you're just going to want to go up and down. So after tying a knot here, I'm going to weave down, then I'm going to weave back up, tie a knot, then weave back down, weave back up, and you're just going to repeating it. It's kind of like a wave up and down, you know what I mean? So keep going, tying your knots, and you're done. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.